Next is an interview by Independent Voices producer Mia Austin-Scoggins with Colonel Ann Wright during her recent visit to North Carolina. Retired Colonel Ann Wright resigned from the U.S. Foreign Service on March 19, 2003, while serving as Deputy Chief of Mission at the U.S. Embassy in Mongolia. She resigned to protest the Bush administration's decision to go to war in Iraq. Colonel Wright was part of the first State Department team to go to Kabul, Afghanistan. She helped reopen the U.S. Embassy in Kabul in December 2001 and worked in Afghanistan for 5 months, serving in the last month as Deputy Ambassador. Before entering the Foreign Service, she served in the Army for 26 years. She served primarily in Special Operations units. On Tuesday, May 20th, 2008, Independent Voices producer Mia Austin-Scoggins interviewed Colonel Ann Wright at the North Carolina Peace Action Peacemaker Award Dinner.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I will be talking tonight about my book, Dissent, Voices of Conscience, my book, and also my co-author's book, Susan Dixon. These are the profiles of men and women in our government and in the governments of other countries who have taken acts of conscience in addition to what they feel are dangerous and perhaps illegal actions by their governments. I am really pleased to be here in North Carolina because you all have such an active peace and justice coalition in the state. The peace action groups are very, very strong here, as well as other types of groups that are really honing in on issues that you have in North Carolina that are kind of unique to the country, including the Arrow corporation that's been flying people around during extraordinary rendition or kidnapping people, and also the Blackwater training area that is here for private security mercenaries that are being used in Iraq, tens of thousands of them that are of very great concern for us. Again, I totally support the troops, having been in the military 29 years, but what I don't support are policies of any administration that put our troops into a situation where they are being misused, where they are pursuing policies of an administration that do not enhance our national security and in fact degrade it, and to use our troops as cannon fodder for particular administrations' want for oil or such things. That's where I have a real dispute. And as a former military officer, retired military officer, I think it's my responsibility to speak up. So I was 14 days in Japan. I was invited to be a part of the international presence of a conference that was being held in Japan where the Japanese were talking about their constitution, their Article 9 of their Constitution, which is the article that says that they will not go to war anymore, that they will only defend themselves from attacks. They will not be aggressive nation, an aggressive nation that will start wars. They will, of course, defend themselves if anybody tries to strike them, but they will not, as the Bush administration has done, and as the Japanese had done previously, and most recently in World War II, they have renounced war, and yet the Bush administration is arm twisting the Japanese administrations, now 2 of them, for them to send Japanese refueling ships to the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean to refuel U.S. Navy ships that are actively participating in the war in Iraq. They are sending now troop transports to move people and materiel into Baghdad, and the Japanese people are irate about it. They say that their government is breaking the law. Well, I think the exit strategy is removing U.S. troops in an orderly fashion and in a manner that gives the Iraqis time to adjust to it, to accommodate it, by giving them the political space to invite any other international actors that they feel will be helpful to them, whether it's in training their military, whether it's whatever it is. The Iraqis themselves have to make the decisions on whether they can, whether there are enough forces in their own country to do what it is that, whatever they think they need to do. I hope it's work for peace, that they will stop this intergroup fighting, which a lot of it's based, I think, on the presence of the U.S. and who's been latest accommodating the U.S. desires. But the Iraqis themselves, if they want further international assistance, they need to pick the ones that will help them, and hopefully they won't shoot them. Because right now, I mean, we've invaded and occupied, and we are known as the infidel invaders, and all of our soldiers and diplomats have bullseyes painted on their backs, really, because they're seen as the invaders. So if the Iraqis want further help, they need to invite the people in and then not kill them. Thank you, Mia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for watching Independent Voices, your source for participatory grassroots media.
The new airline of the CIA is Aero Contractors. During the Vietnam War, it was Air America.
Fight for their rights as people, fight for their rights as human beings, fight for the rights of others who cannot defend themselves.
This is a wound. This is the closest to a genocide that any of us may ever face in our lives.
Thousands of students on almost 80 campuses across the country are interrupting their daily routine to protest this war in Iraq.
The company is getting rid of workers that have worked there 10 and 12 years because the company says they didn't know that they were undocumented. You know, workers shouldn't be taken out in handcuffs. The CEOs and the plant management should be taken out in handcuffs.
Look at all history, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass. They all said unite. Look what they did. Look what they accomplished.